So guys, welcome back to Newswave. Now before we start on our talking points today, I do want to talk about our podcast, which is now uploaded to SoundCloud. So if you want to give it a listen for the Spawncast, take a look. It was a lot of fun to record. Of course, we had Nintendo Ultra, Philip, and Evan as usual there. And this week coming up, Saturday, that's Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, we'll have Sean on from RGT85, so I'm pretty excited about that as well. And with that, guys, let's get started today. The first thing to talk about today is very interesting. This actually comes from our good friends at Wall Street Journal, and they are reporting that Zelda apparently is making the move to cell phones. Now, that's not obviously an exclusive move. Zelda's just not going to just be on cell phones, but Nintendo seems to be testing the waters here with mobile devices right now. Of course, they did it with Mario Run, and it turned out to be pretty much a success overall. Shows that Nintendo's products are powerful outside of Nintendo systems, and it seems like Nintendo maybe just kind of putting some groundwork in for a future relationship with mobile systems in general. Now, Wall Street Journal seems to have very limited information here, which is a little concerning. I will say that they seem to put this out there maybe after they heard it from somebody on the inside of Nintendo. They do say that their sources are just sources that are close to the situation, as they say. So I wouldn't put every egg in this basket, guys. I would at least let this unfold a little bit before you judge yay or nay on Zelda going to cell phones, or if it really is in general. They had no information. They couldn't tell us if, say, it's going to be a free-to-play model like how Fire Emblem is, where you can download it for free, but of course you can buy in-game purchases to get you further in the game faster. Or if it's going to be a one-time purchase like Mario Run, where there's a set number of levels. They may add stuff down the road as DLC for you to download, but for the most part, you put $10 in, you get a Mario game out of it. You know, it's kind of hard to tell which way they go here, because to be fair, the freemium model seems to be the way to get money out of mobile users. Now, most, when Mario Run came out, seemed to complain about that $10 price tag, which is odd if you consider that, since it's $10. It's not like they were asking for 50 or 40 or 50 bucks for the game. $10 seems too expensive for the mobile market, which is weird. But Mario Run still sold. It did. Nintendo seemed to stick to their guns. They still got money from people in general. I mean, not everybody. I think it was something like 10% of people did buy it after downloading the demo. So there was a conversion rate, however small it was. But I do think because Animal Crossing is probably going to follow more of a freemium model where it is free and then you buy stuff as you go forward, because Animal Crossing lore is so large, maybe Zelda is the one-time purchase game, much like Mario Run, and they have two freemium games with Fire Emblem and, of course, Animal Crossing. But it's interesting to see that Nintendo is quietly becoming a first-party and third-party developer, because they're developing games for phones now, which is interesting. And a lot of people say this isn't a big deal because consoles obviously are where games are. Well, all the statistics point to mobile games kind of rising as we go along, and it will continue to do so. Nintendo does not seem to be ignoring it either with these games, and I assume at this point Microsoft and Sony have to be kind of looking at this as well. Maybe they look into releasing some big popular titles from their side, maybe like a Halo or something, or in Sony's case, maybe they do, I don't know, a Spyro or Crash Bandicoot, just to bring it over. I mean, we see Final Fantasy there. I mean, Square is really pushing a lot of Final Fantasy games on the mobile market, and I think everybody at this point knows that mobile is a massive cash cow. You can make so much money for so long. I mean, this is what Phil Spencer's been talking about with service games. While he probably doesn't mean mobile games, I think he understands as well that those are service games that can benefit the company in the future. Nintendo obviously sees this. We're getting Animal Crossing apparently, and now, according to Wall Street Journal, we are getting Zelda moving to phones. Either way, it's very interesting. I'm going to be very curious to see where we go with this. Is this a freemium game, or is this a $10 one purchase only? It's Zelda though. Maybe it's a full Zelda game like a top-down Super Nintendo style or something, and it's a $20 game. Can they get $20 for something like that on the mobile market? That's going to be interesting. I really want to see if they can really push the barrier here for mobile games and put out full-fledged games on the mobile market and make it so it's not like a throwaway game. You know, it's an actual $20 purchase that is legit. Like, it's a legitimate purchase that makes sense. So I hope Nintendo can break down that barrier, because mobile gaming, I think, is this close to being taken seriously, but they just don't have a blockbuster game. I mean, we complain about $10 on mobile devices. It's that bad. And guys, I've been talking about this Phantom Dust game coming from Microsoft for quite a while now, because it's a re-release. We talked about the price point. Hopefully it's cheap enough to make sense. And surprisingly, it is cheap enough to make sense, because according to Aaron Greenberg, who is head of Xbox Games Marketing, it's free. Now, of course, they do say re-release exclusively today for free on the Xbox One and Windows 10 store. But if you have either one of those right now, go download it. It's free. Go download it before they try to maybe change it to a pricing model where you have to pay for it. I don't know. It's interesting that they release this for free. Now, if you remember a previous news wave, we talked about how it will have microtransactions. And I'm thinking maybe this is going to be kind of their free to play, but you can spend money to get more cards and stuff for your deck, which of course Phantom Dust operates kind of what is essentially a card system. You get abilities in your deck that you spend and then fight against other people. And it looks like that's the strategy. Give you the game for free, and if you want to advance the game faster, you spend money. And that is an interesting topic here, because does that mean that if a game like a Phantom Dust, where you can bring it back and you can do that, does that mean that maybe these kind of games are the future? I mean, does it make more sense to release something for free and then hope that you spend money over time? Because then it's very easy to get into it and then you can get lost spending tons of money. We see this with mobile games, for example, all the time, where people spend way too much money on games like Clash of Clans or World of Tanks or whatnot. Way too much money gets spent on those games because it's free to get in, and then it seems to be easy to spend $1 or $2 here, and before you know it, you're like a couple $100 in. I will say though, it looks like you can just earn everything straight up with Phantom Dust. If it's the game I remember back from the original Xbox, yes, you can play it. You can just earn everything straight up through the story, or apparently playing online here. So that's going to be really fun. I liked Phantom Dust when it came out. It's a game a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, missed out on. I am glad that it's going to be free. I think it'll really give people a good chance to try this game out for the first time, because I know so many people missed it on the original Xbox. Check it out though. It's free right now. Go download it on your computer or your Xbox One. It has to be easy to play on computers. I don't think you need anything fancy, because keep in mind, this is an original Xbox game that has been like upscaled and smoothed out. It doesn't need anything fancy to play it. So even if you have a basic laptop or computer that has a decent processor, and maybe, I'll have to see what the system requirements are, but maybe like Intel HD, like 5,000 visuals or any kind of dedicated video card, you should be okay playing it. And if you were a fan of Guitar Man or Parappa the Rapper, you may want to look into a certain Kickstarter, because, of course, Kickstarter, where apparently the dreams happen, the developers of those two previously named games are making their own rhythm-based action-adventure RPG. At least that seems to be the way they describe it. That sounds kind of out there, but based on the video footage they've shown, it looks interesting. Like I said, I have no problem with companies or small indie developers like these trying to make something new or creative, and really a lot of people like Parappa the Rapper. Did not age well. It did not age well at all, actually. If you played it on, say, the PS4, how they brought it out on there, it played okay, but there were a lot of latency issues, and it definitely was not set up for new age TVs, for example. But overall, it's still a fun game, still has catchy tunes, and it looks like they're trying to maybe modernize a little more with this, what they're calling Project Rap Rabbit, and that is apparently a working title. I will say they seem to be looking for quite a bit of funding here. A little more than I thought they'd be looking for. They're looking for over $1 million. Apparently looking for 1.1 million over on Kickstarter right now. Now, they already have over 1,000 backers, as you see here, 1,075 at this time of recording. They still have another 34 days to go, and they need quite a bit to get to that goal. Will they make it without that goal? It's hard to say. Sometimes, if they see that maybe they get 80% of the way there, they go to, this is a way to show someone like Sony that funding is needed to make this game because people want to buy it. If they can show companies that it wants to be made and it will sell, companies will fund it even if it does not break that Kickstarter pledge that they have set up. Now, apparently they are trying to bring it to Sony consoles with PS4 and Steam. Those are the two systems they have set up right now. Do they want to bring it anywhere else? I'm not sure, because keep in mind, Parappa the Rapper and Guitar Man were mostly Sony, obviously Sony IPs that really only went to Sony products. And would it go to another system? Hard to say. At this point, they seem dead set on PS4 and Steam. Of course, if you're an independent developer, put it on Steam. Why not? I mean, you're already probably developing it on a PC anyway. Either way, it's at least worth looking into. It looks like they have actual legitimate creators here. It's not, a person in their basement asking you for money for Kickstarter. This looks like an actual project that may get off the ground. Also, it looks like E3 is still in demand with fans. In fact, they've managed to sell all their tickets. They're all gone. They sold all 15,000 fan tickets that started right around $150 for early bird prices up to $250. So they sold through everything. And at this point, yes, there's probably going to be people sad, but you know what? It was first come, first serve. people are going to be storming those gates when they open them for that public floor. As far as I can tell, there will be stuff, of course, that is only blocked up for media, and then, of course, the public will be able to go out onto the showroom floor, check out all the games and everything there. I am still sad that I am not going. Next year, I'm sure I will have a chance to go over there, take a flight over, check everything out. Hopefully by then the channel's a little larger and I can maybe get into some behind-the-scenes stuff, and I'm sure probably accidentally break a few things, but you know what? It'll be fun watching here. I will have all kinds of, that's going to be a long week, guys. We're going to have all kinds of probably, I'm sure, Newswave extras and breaking news, and we'll be streaming a lot as well. So it's going to be fun. And that, of course, is next month, starting June 12th, when I know Microsoft is going to be announcing their Scorpio and probably giving us a price. And the last bit of news comes from Samsung and Zenimax. Apparently, Zenimax can't stop suing people. I don't know what the deal is here. They get $500 million, obviously, from Facebook and Oculus when that all went down, and now they have their sights set on Samsung and their Gear VR. And according to Zenimax, apparently John Carmack and Matt Hooper, apparently they designed all of this, right? At their studios, they designed an attack plan for mobile VR, and apparently this eventually led to Samsung's Gear VR headset. And this lawsuit was filed last Friday night, before I guess everyone went home for the day and just kind of stuffed it in, and here we are Monday morning, I'm sure, with people opening it in the court systems, and then of course Samsung gets a copy, and they're opening up to something that I have to imagine is just in disbelief for Samsung. Zenimax seems to just be pushing, I don't know what's going on here. They're like pushing their weight around, telling all of these companies that you are using our VR secrets for your product. And like I said, their next target seems to be Samsung after getting plenty of money out of Facebook. They're not done getting paid. So yes, according to Zenimax, the Gear VR headset is using technology that infringes on Zenimax tech and trade secrets because it relies on Oculus software. Now, no solid number of money that Zenimax wants has really been shown. I think they're still kind of in the early stages of figuring out how much money they can get from Samsung for this lawsuit, but they did kind of go out and say that we want, royalties, we want injunctive relief and punitive damages, and of course they also want them to pay their attorney fees because, let's face it, attorney fees aren't cheap, and if you can get the other party to pay for them, why not? I'm not really sure what's going on here. Like I said, with Zenimax, they seem to be a little crazy here, and it's kind of a shame because they seem to be holding back VR rather than helping push it forward. And of course, they're a big company. They don't care. It's money, right? They just got $500 million. Who else can we sue, guys? Let's sue them. That's kind of what it feels like right now. Now, to be fair, we don't know all of the stuff about these court documents. But if it turns out that these are just really repetitive documents where they're trying to sue for the same thing over and over again, and they're just pointing out different companies that are using Oculus software, it's a bad look for Zenimax. I'll say that if that's the case. Now, if there is a legitimate claim here, then yes, they do have to sue because someone's making money off their stuff. Although I will say, it seems like in the age of VR, Zenimax apparently is the only company making money from VR without actually producing any headsets. And that's it for Newswave today, guys. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me think about anything we talked about today, whether you are looking forward to this possible Zelda cell phone game. Now, keep in mind, none of this is confirmed at all. Nintendo has declined to comment, despite Wall Street Journal putting this report out, so it could be incorrect. Wall Street Journal generally tends to be pretty solid, minus their whole PewDiePie thing. At least these are different writers. This person seems to do their research from what I looked into their old history. So it seems like it could be. We'll just have to see if Nintendo actually comes out and say, yes, this is a thing. Are you guys excited for Phantom Dust being free? I am honestly shocked that Microsoft's putting this game out for free, although they may be testing the waters here with microtransactions, see if it is a legitimate business strategy going forward. That's it for now, guys. I will see you next time.